Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video and I am starting my Shrewsbury album. So this was in the same trip as Dublin and Wales, and on my way back to the north of Wales, I crossed over for a little bit into England and went to Shrewsbury. So far all I've done is my opening page here, and I kept with the same theme or style that I used for Wales, where I have the city name here and then I use a wood veneer. And I did that mainly because originally I thought these were going to be in the Wales album, but then I decided to remove them. But I like the look of this, so I went with a camera for this one. So I have that done. Now I'm moving on to this page right here, and it's a one photo layout. So I have one 4x6 photo of the train station in Shrewsbury because, I mean, look at that building. We just don't have buildings like that where I live. Not too many anyway. I mean, this is very classic architecture for the UK, and we only see that really maybe in New England, older New England maybe. But I love train travel, and so I wanted to definitely include that and to show that I left Cardiff and made my stop here for the day before I went on to the rest of Wales. So I have that, and originally I pulled this card out of my travel stash because it's got the underground and train symbols on it, and I thought, oh, that's great, that'll work. And you know, there's the same thing on the sign here, but look at that. It's way too busy. That does not go. And then I tried to figure out, could I layer it somehow? I don't think so. Now, provided everything goes well, I should be in London in 2022. So I think I am going to just hang on to this and use it for that instead. This is the other side, by the way. That really doesn't go. I don't really like it at all, actually. So I know I'll be using this side, but I'm going to save it for London. But that leaves me with a dilemma. What else do I do here? I'm going to have to find some kind of paper for the background, which I don't know what that will be. The only other two things I had picked out that I thought maybe would work here, that I might be able to use, are these two little phrases, train travel, and this one that says here and there, because there is red and blue in the photo. So I think I can definitely work with those, but I need to find the background paper first. So I've grabbed some papers here, and I had this one already cut as a 6x12 in the bin for my Shrewsbury stuff, thinking maybe I could work it in somewhere. But now that I see this together, I think that's way too busy. I have some other things later on that do have red in them. By the way, that's the other side. That definitely doesn't work. But I have some other things later that are red. Maybe I could use it then. It still might be way too busy, but I like it because of that mosaic look, so I'll hang on to it. These are the other two I've picked out. I really didn't have anything that jumped out at me as perfect, but I have these options. So this is just a paper that's got a craft background and then some silver foil. It doesn't look bad with, you know, the brick and the stone that's on here. Is that brick or stone? I think stone maybe. I'm not sure even, but it's very sort of grayish brown, and I think that would be okay. If I matted it, probably I wouldn't just leave it on here like that. It needs some kind of definition around the edges in some way, but it's an option. And then I also have this one. This is from a line called Oxidation from Ella and Viv, and I've had this whole set for a while, and the colors certainly match because there's blue, there's the gray and the brown in there, but I'm not sure that I like such a rustic, or rusty, I guess is a better word, such a rusty background there. This is a little more elegant, but I'm not sure. I think because I have no other plans for these papers, I think I'm going to cut them down to 6x8, just cut out a chunk of it and just try it and hold it up against both, see what I like, because these are a little too big for me to really get an idea. I want to see what the page would actually look like, so I'll cut those down and then I'll be back. I'm having a hard time choosing here. So I cut out a mat just so I could see what it would look like with some white behind it. There's what it looks like on top of the craft and silver. There's what it looks like on top of the oxidation paper. I'm thinking this one, because look how nicely these stand out. If I did that one here and like that one like that or something, I think that looks pretty good. It looks slightly odd to me on this paper, but I don't know. I'm very torn. If it were your layout, what would you do? I need to think some more, and then I'll be back again. I was having so much trouble and couldn't make up my mind that I actually sent pictures of this to a friend who's also a scrapper and said, tell me what to do. Which of these papers do you like better for this? And she said this one. So I'm going to let her make up my mind. So I'm going with the silver foil. I have picked out a few other things too, other than these two phrases I had. I already had these sitting on my desk, and I looked over, I'm like, hey, there's both red and blue in here. So I could use either one of those if I wanted to. And then I also have these two wood veneer pieces from Allie Edwards. And I have both red and blue. I'm thinking I would only like to use one, not both, but I don't know. Maybe when I start playing around with all of this stuff and figure out some kind of combo, maybe I can use them both. All right, I have all of this laid out here. I think I'm going to go with this. I thought I was only going to use one of those, but I kind of like them both. So I think I'm going to put those both on there with two here. But then to have an uneven number of things, I think I want to either use a geotag, maybe the gray one even, up top here and overlap. Or I have this stamp set, and on here, I like this one that says Mind the Gap. I could stamp that in kind of a slate color or a sand color, and then maybe put it down here to make a little cluster. But I think 6 things is too many. 5, I like the odd number, so it's either this or it's one of these. All right, I have those adhered, and I decided to actually put in 2 mini staples here because I had left quite a bit of empty space there and it just looked too blank. So I decided to put those in, but now everything here is attached. Now I just have to put on the 2 wood veneer pieces. All right, I have those adhered now too, and I think I'm going to try the gray geotag, but I can't decide if I want the smaller one or the bigger one. I'm thinking maybe bigger to offset what's down here, but we'll see. I chose to go with the bigger one, and I'm happy with that, but I feel like I need to bring in some of the brown tone that's in there since I didn't do the stamping, but I can still do this. So I think I'm going to take my cat's eye ink here and just ink on the edges. Really, I should have done that before I put this all down, but I didn't know I needed it. So I can go in now, and if a little bit gets onto the paper behind the white, that's totally okay because it'll look kind of smudgy and old and weathered, just like the building. All right, here it is with some brown inking done on it. And I just made it as messy as I could, just did it quickly, rubbed it over on the edges, and I loved the look so much, I decided to also put a little bit on the wood veneer pieces and then a little bit here. You can't really see it, but I tried to put a little bit on the blue just so there was a tiny little bit up here as well, and I'm really happy with that. And I think I don't need to add anything else here. I think it's done. So here's another one finished for Shrewsbury. Thanks for watching.